Welcome to Jazz After Dark. How you doing out there? I gotta get a better chair. It's not very comfortable. Hope you're having a good day. Well, now it's evening, so I hope you're having a good evening and you're ready to hang out with me here a little bit. This one is geared towards the younger crowd a little bit, or the lower income crowd. So I get it that this is probably not targeted at the right people, but it's important because a lot of people won't file their taxes because they don't have to. Legally, right? They don't have to. And I'll show you in a minute who that is. But a lot of people just don't file. Well, that sucks, right? Because you're very likely going to get a refund. So if you know somebody, or it's your child and they're growing up a little bit and they're not required to file their taxes, it's still a good thing to do it. And that takes a lot for me to say, because I personally want the IRS to know as little as possible, right? Don't we all? Joining me tonight is the last of the Bullet Bourbon. And, it's good. So if you've never had the Bullet Bourbon, we've done a review on this in a previous video there. But if you like the spiciness and you'd like to maybe make like an old fashioned or some kind of mixed drink and you want that kick to it, well, the Bullet's going to take care of you for a reasonable fee as well. Also, we're waiting on Flaviar to send us some more stuff there. So I don't have anything to offer in terms of any new or interesting flavors. But let's get back to the tax thing here for a second. Why would you file taxes even if you're not required? There's a handful of reasons, and as I go through this, I want to actually show you this here. So this is directly from publication 501. If you're not familiar, it's a PDF. You can download it, or probably on the IRS website as well, but I had the PDF handy from earlier in last year. Here is who is required to file. So all this is just broken into columns. If you're single, or if your filing status is single, and at the end of the year you were under 65 and over, and you must file a tax return if your gross income, it doesn't say you have to, it says only if your income was at least $12,950 if you're under 65, and $14,700 if you're 65 and over. Head of household, married, filing jointly. You get what we're saying for the rest of it. Now, there's a lot of people that could fit into this, and not because you're broke, by the way. Don't look at this and say, under 65, they made $12,950. That must be somebody who was, working at, well, nowadays you make that kind of money working wherever, I guess. So I can't say that, but, they weren't just working part-time at the mall or whatever. Don't think that it's those people that are lower income. You could have been laid off. Right? Your income on paper could have been lower, and you say, well, I don't have to file a tax return this year. You could have taken an off year and spent time with the family, had a new baby or something, and you have that privilege of having the cash to support yourself. You could have been in between selling houses, moving to a different job. That job didn't work out. Somebody got in an accident. You couldn't work. You got hurt. You see, there's all kinds of things in there. So this could apply to you down the road if you're still watching. So why would you file your taxes anyways, even if you don't happen to need or are required to file those taxes? Number one is that income verification, right? If you need some form of income verified, I don't care if it's from selling stock. You might have got to the end of the year and said, oh my God, I worked for 2 months and then I got fired. I decided to move back home with my family and I've been depressed ever since, and I just haven't gotten off the couch to get a job. It's not for me to judge you, but you probably still want to report that income. Plus, tip number 2 is you worked for that money at some point. In my current example, you worked, which means you paid tax. And if you are not required to pay tax, or if you're not required to file your tax return, but you had income, that means you paid tax and you get all that back. So there's a refund there. So did you know that? That's a real simple thing. If you look at that page and you say, oh, that's me, I fit into that category. I was married, filing jointly. Both spouses were under 65 and we made less than $25,900. It was a vacation year, right? We took off most of the year. If you look at that, but you had some income, you will get that tax money back. So that's tip number 2, is file for the tax money that you paid that's legally owed to you according to the IRS. Tip number 3 is you may get the earned income credit. And I'll move on to tip number 4. You may get the child tax credit, right? But if you have kids, earned income credit is more interesting if you have kids as well. So if you're between 25 and 65, and I don't know if it's that, I'm thinking 65 there. I think it's 25 and 64. So it's not 25 and 65. That's coming to me from that one there. Anyways, let's say it's 25 to 65, but check that last number. You could have like $7,000 on the hook, right? So if you're looking at the earned income tax credit, remember that that is a refundable tax credit. That's not one of those gimmies that lowers your tax owed. Although it does, you can lower your tax owed with the earned income credit. But if you already, let's say you owe $1,000 and your earned income credit's $4,200 for whatever reason, you'd actually get back the difference. You would get back $3,200, right? So it's called a refundable tax credit, if you didn't know that. And so if you don't file your tax return, you're not going to get that refund. And keep in mind, you can always, if you're unsure, you could start filing, see what's going to happen, and then just stop. If I'm totally wrong here and I'm off base and you had no income and therefore nothing is due to you or whatever, you could always just stop. You don't have to file. So that's something to consider there. Child tax credit, now they tinkered with it over the last couple years with COVID and everything. It's $2,000. That's also a recoverable, a refundable tax credit as well. So it can come off any tax owed if by chance you had any owed. And then counts as a refund, meaning they send you money back there. So there's so much more there. So the point I'm trying to make is don't just shy away from not filing and think you're getting away with it, saying, oh, I don't have to file this year, yay. Oh, American Opportunity Credit, you may be able to get that as well. There's others. There's so many things out there, but don't just not file, right? Although legally you can, don't not do it. There may be a reason that, you may want to file there. So did I write them down here? I didn't write them down, so I can't go line by line and say tip number 1 was this and that. I don't remember what order I set them in. But I will point this out one more time. Publication 501. It's a good thing to read anyways if you want to dig through some of the initial requirements of taxes and you don't want to spend on 40 different files looking through things. This is for 2022. Of course, it'll change next year just ever so slightly. But you're welcome to look at that. Take a look. You can download it from just search IRS Publication 501. And that's all I have for you. That was a short one, really. I mean, it just was stuck in my head, to be honest. When I hear something over and over again, I might make a video about it, not because it's on topic. This is not really our wheelhouse. I don't spend a lot of time on this, but I've been hearing that a lot. And so when I hear it a lot, I think maybe what's up here needs to come out. And maybe people just don't think about this sort of thing or just don't know any better. So apologies if this video is off base from what you're used to seeing from us. The more I hear something, the more I'm going to go, I thought people knew that. I better just bring it up. I do the same in our wine and wealth classes every Thursday. I try to listen to what people are stuck on and then just go that extra layer deep. Just try to help clients with something to answer that question and then give them a, but did you know, kind of a thing. And I think most people are pretty happy with that. All right, well, I'm going to go to bed because it is very late here, and I'm pretty much done for the day. All right, enjoy, and thanks for watching and hanging out with us. We'll see you tomorrow.